Summer tends to bring up all of our insecurities and self doubt. If you want to boost your confidence and self worth so that abundance can flow through every aspect of your life, then you need to join my free Summer of Self Love Challenge, where I will teach you 5 simple yet effective strategies to help you reclaim your self worth and receive what you truly desire. Click the link in the show notes to sign up for free. Hello, welcome back to Breathe More and happy summer. We're officially in another season. This year just feels like it's flying by. And summer is a very special time for me because it's the time of the year when I talk a lot about self love. The reason why I do this is because so many times when I'm holding space for my clients, whether it's in a group program or my one on one coaching program, that is a foundational element, self love, that oftentimes is either missing completely or it would be helpful to look at it and look at ways where maybe it's not as strong as it should be. And the reason why self love is so important is because it's how we talk about ourselves, how we treat ourselves, what we give ourselves permission to do or not to do. And I know that the term self love, we see it all over the place on social media. A lot of times it's associated with like, take a bubble bath and go get a massage and like treat yourself to something nice, which is nice for you to do something for yourself. But that is surface level stuff. And if you know me and you know my work, you know that I like to go deep. I am not about just putting on a band aid and moving on because that stuff continues to come up and show up in our lives. So if you truly want transformation in your life, if you truly want to manifest the things that you say you want to manifest, then we got to look under the hood. We got to look at your foundation. We got to look to see where are areas in your life that maybe there's still a trauma manifesting and showing up in your life as an adult, or a past experience, or maybe someone else's voice. I hear that a lot, especially a parental voice, that sometimes it's very critical. Sometimes that is where the core wound of self love begins. And so that's what we're going to be talking about today. And then also giving you some tips on how to cultivate more self love, and also inviting you to do my free Summer of Self Love Challenge, which I will talk more about it towards the end. All right. So, what is self love? As I mentioned, to me, self love is not getting a massage. Although I love getting body work, it's not going to do your nails. It's not going out for brunch with the girlfriends and having mimosas. Self love at the core is how we treat ourselves. It is how compassionate and loving and patient we are with ourselves. Self love is a reflection of how worthy we feel about things, whether it's receiving or even doing certain things. It is how we treat ourselves and how we talk about ourselves. And a lot of times, that self love, it does get, I don't know, the word that's coming to mind right now is damaged. Either because of an experience or experiences that we had when we were younger, or even as an adult or young adult, a moment that left an imprint in our energy, in our subconscious mind, that then created the doubt, that then created the self-hatred, that put us in a place of hiding and not feeling deserving or feeling scared of receiving. Yet deep down inside, we do want a certain life, relationships, a certain career. And when that self-love has been hurt, has been inflicted with pain, then there's that part of us that's going to continue to resurface and maybe show up as self-sabotage, show up as that critical voice in your mind that's telling you, don't do it. Why are you wasting your time? Who do you think you are? You're too fill in the blank, ugly, fat, poor, whatever mean things this voice is saying. And a lot of times I see in my clients that it's stuck on a loop. And yet what's coming to mind is then deep down inside, they really want a partnership. They want that promotion at their job, but they're not getting it. And so a lot of times I present the question of how much do you give this to yourself? This gentleness, this compassion, this understanding. How much do you celebrate yourself? How much do you acknowledge like how proud you are of what you've overcome, of what you've already accomplished? How beautiful do you think you are for yourself? Internally, externally, like really celebrating your beauty, your light, your ideas, your passions. And then I hear a lot of my clients say, yeah, I don't do that. I don't celebrate myself. I'm constantly beating myself up. I am my worst critic. I'm hard on myself. I'm always thinking the worst, that I'm going to disappoint people, that I'm going to be abandoned because of who I am. And so my process in helping my clients is identifying those core wounds, those core beliefs that are manifesting in a lack of self-love. I just finished holding space for one of my private clients in my Radiate program, which is all about this. It's like helping them boost their confidence and self-love so that they can manifest their desires. And so the specific client, she came to me because she was feeling stuck in her abundance, in her money situation. She has her own business. And lately, she has been in a dry spell of attracting her dream client. The people that she's been attracting, potential clients and conversations that she's been having, haven't been a match. But what was interesting as we started to work was that there was all this inner child healing that needed to take place. And just because I described it as all of this inner child healing, it doesn't mean that I have to take a long time. And also, it doesn't mean that it has to be painful or re-traumatizing. I feel like a lot of people today are tired, fatigued of looking at themselves, of doing the work. Like they just want the results without necessarily doing the work. And my experience has been, it doesn't work that way. But what the process that you have experienced perhaps in the past, whether it's through therapy or maybe even a different coaching program, like they tend to take a long time. What ends up happening is that there's all this awareness of what happened, and there's the labels that then people start to identify with, like attachment labels. I hear that all the time. And then that becomes their news story. And then I find that people hide behind that. But the healing still hasn't happened. And so with my modalities of being a clairvoyant and able to quickly see which part of you is feeling unsafe and afraid and needing love, needing that support, needing that encouragement, that celebration. And then also using regulating practices like breath work to get your body, your mind, your nervous system in a place where it's not an automatic reaction anymore. Rather, we're changing the dynamic, the thoughts in your head by regulating your nervous system. And then from that place of safety, that place of feeling calm, that place of being empowered, then that's where the new thoughts start to come into play. And so using my client as an example, she was feeling frustrated because it's been over 6 months and she has manifested a new client and she was just feeling really stuck and she was in a negative place and starting to lose hope. So she decided to do my radio program, 4 sessions, and right away, I was able to help her identify, all right, your inner child, there's a couple parts of you. There's two parts. The inner child is feeling unsafe, is afraid of being abandoned, is feeling unlovable. And then there's another version of you, another younger self that has this strong belief that she has to do everything alone. She can't count on other people. She doesn't want to be dependent on other people and doesn't want to be a burden. And so once we were able to identify these two parts, while they were showing up differently in her life, at the core, they were feeling unsafe. At the core, they were feeling unlovable. And so with that guidance, she was able to identify certain experiences that she went through that resulted in that way of thinking and that coping mechanism. So then from there, we connected with those parts. We loved on them. We reframed how they experienced the situation and then also helped them no longer feel responsible for whatever happened or responsible for other people and carrying that burden of putting everyone else first, of thinking about basically everyone else, and then also being worried about, am I going to disappoint people? So that's where the over delivery was happening. That's where the fear of disappointing people was coming from. And then from that place of then both of these selves feeling safe and at peace and heard, validated, understood, acknowledged, because so much of the self-love journey is acknowledging ourselves, all parts of us. Then from that place, she was starting to feel more confident. Her energy shifted. And then quickly, she started to attract opportunities. We only did 4 sessions because that's how long this program currently is. But already people were coming to her with opportunities, with conversations, with collaborations. Why? Because her energy had shifted. Because now she felt proud. She was confident. She was vibrating at a different frequency that was now attracting people into her life that were able to view what she has to contribute, respect her. They saw how she could help them. So again, the collaboration, as opposed to just her doing what they told her to do or what they wanted to do, but really respecting her expertise. She was showing up in a more open and vulnerable way with her relationships, both with her partner and her family. And the tension and the ickiness that had been with her relationships with family started to dissolve. She started to report back, oh, my mom has been really nice to me. Oh, I was able to have this conversation with my boyfriend and he apologized and took ownership for his behavior and recognized now he knows exactly what it is that I need. So that all of that happened in just 4 sessions, 4 hours. So the journey doesn't have to be long. The journey can be easy and it can also be empowering and exciting when we do that self-love work. So when you're actively working on your self-love and checking in, you're able to create more resilience within yourself, again, more compassion and understanding and patience, and giving yourself permission to go after the things you say you want to go after. The other part is then allowing yourself to receive those miracles, to receive that support, to receive that relationship without then it coming into your space and then shutting down. Those protective walls coming back up, protecting your heart, minimizing your energy, then becoming invisible. If you've been feeling this way, if you now listening to this can recognize, oh, I see how at my job, I'm basically invisible. I feel like whenever I speak up, I'm not being heard, or my ideas are being passed by, or I'm being passed on from a promotion. So I invite you to look at your energy. What is going on internally? How are you feeling? How are you speaking about things? Do you truly believe that you can have what is that you want? When we do this, reflection is so empowering. I am a believer that we create our reality. As adults, no matter what our circumstances are, we have the power to make a different decision. We have the power to take action, to say no, to change your mind, to decide that no longer works for me anymore. That was an old dream. I don't want that anymore. I've outgrown that. And then taking the necessary steps to make that into a reality. But a lot of times, people don't do that. We stay in the same place because we're comfortable, because, oh, it's not that bad. Because your brain understands this is what I can predict, this is what's keeping me safe. And so, even though I'm not happy with it, even though I'm feeling indifferent, I'm just going to continue being here. And then a lot of times, what gets people to actually take some type of action is when they're in a place where there's so much discomfort, when things get so bad, sometimes when things get dangerous, that then they're like, okay, I got to make a change. But we don't have to wait for that extreme. Today, just in the feeling of, I want more, or I want to feel different. I want to feel more at peace. I want to feel calmer. I don't want to struggle with my anxiety anymore. I want to experience more joy in my life. That is enough reason, at least it is for me and for the people that I work with, to make a change, to reflect. And so you might be thinking like, all right, Anna, that sounds all great. Like, so what exactly do I do? Well, that's why I created my free challenge, Summer of Self-Love Challenge. It's 5 different practices to help you start to move your energy. So we're starting by acknowledging, how are you speaking about yourself? Is there some negative self-talk? Are you putting yourself down? Are you telling yourself that's not for you? And then starting to reframe that. What is a different way that you can speak about yourself? What are some things that you can fully acknowledge that you're proud of, that you love about yourself? And listen, if you struggle with self-love, this exercise is going to be difficult. So in this challenge, I help you start to get started, right? And an easy way to go about doing this is writing down affirmations. But before you roll your eyes on affirmations, they are very powerful. If affirmation is a word that's triggering for you because you've seen it all over Instagram and you're like, enough with these positive affirmations, like, I don't believe any of this. My approach is to phrase things, to talk about things in a way where your brain is not going to completely reject it. And so that's baby steps. And maybe it's starting to make a list of how other people describe you, of how people talk about you. Oh, you're such a great listener. Or you're always so punctual. I love how responsible you are. You're so hardworking. You're so smart. I love your smile. You always have a great sense of fashion. You see what I'm doing? So these are compliments that you might be getting from strangers, your loved ones. Make a list of that. Start with that. And then once that starts to feel easier, then you can think about how you want to describe yourself, then taking ownership of these new statements. On day 2 of this free challenge, then we're going to talk about opening up our heart. So, this is another way of just checking in with your energy. How open or closed am I? Am I disassociated? Am I turned off? Am I feeling numb? And so, through this guided meditation, I hope you start to connect once again with your light, with your magic, with your essence. And then day 3, we go a little bit deeper. I gave the example of one of my clients that I was just working with and helping her identify where that self love was missing and how it was affecting her day to day life, her abundance, her success, her business. And so, a lot of times for folks, that comes down to connecting with our inner child. So, for day 3 of the Summer of Self Love Challenge, I guide you to connect with your inner child and write a letter to them. I love doing this practice. I connect with my inner child. Her name is Lily. That was my nickname when I was young. And then also my family still calls me that. And I talk to her every day. I connect with her. I actually have a picture of me as a child on my altar. And in the mornings, I stop and check in with her. How is she feeling? Is she afraid? Is she worried about something? Is there any comfort that I can give her? Can I also celebrate her? And then sometimes I also ask her for favors. Hey, I need some support in this. And I give her a task, and she loves that. She loves getting to work and using her magic to help me, the adult. So that's day 3. Number 4, we're going to regulate our nervous system and connect with self love using breath work. So I guide you through a 20-minute practice to do that. And then the last day, so important and something that so many people struggle with. I struggled with it for so long, which is celebrating myself. Even receiving a compliment used to be really hard for myself. I would minimize it. I would, like, if someone complimented, I don't know, my outfit or something, like a top, I'd be like, oh, yeah, it was a hand me down, or I got it at Target, or I don't know. It just felt really uncomfortable. And so I felt like I had to justify it or minimize it instead of just saying thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I really love it. It was a great find, right? And so I'm going to guide you through a practice to really celebrate on yourself, feel proud. And that's another way that you're going to raise your vibration and remain open energetically so that you can receive. And then throughout the summer, I'm going to be hosting events, both virtually and then also in person in Los Angeles. So make sure you keep an eye out for that. I also invite you, if today's episode resonated with you, if hearing how you might be blocking yourself or you're recognizing, hey, I really should look into working on my self love, and you want to work with me one on one, I invite you to book a call so that we can talk about how I can support you in achieving your goals in 4 short sessions. So I'm so excited for this summer. It's feeling so expansive. I'm excited to be out more in nature and hang out with people and also hold space for you as we step into this energy of vibrancy, of playfulness, and reminding you that you are deserving of whatever it is that you desire. All right, friend, thank you so much for listening. Let me know if this topic resonated with you. I always love hearing from you. Feel free to reach out via Instagram or send me an email. Cheering you are amazing. And we will be back next week.